Is your business feeling like this right now? Total chaos. Whether you're an owner, a manager, an employee, does the business feel all chaotic and disheveled? By the way, this is what our logo typically doesn't look like. It's a vinyl sticker that went through the wash and shouldn't have, but it turned it into this Picasso, Salvador Dali-like abstract of what it should be, because business feels chaotic to a lot of people right now. And by the way, it feels chaotic to me too, okay? Not just you. So I was lying in bed this morning and I truly didn't know where I was going to go, as I stated when I shared this before the broadcast. And I thought, like, how can I bring value to my community? Wherever you're watching this, how can I bring value to you? And then it hit me. A lot of people are struggling with the decisions they need to make right now. And is there a right one? Are they going to make a wrong one? Which way to pivot their business? But is there a wrong decision to be made? And are you afraid to go back to startup life? Because this is what we're doing. This is becoming a startup again, or as I'm calling it, Startup 2.0. A lot of people have built their businesses, very successful businesses, 7-figure, 8-figure businesses, 9-figure businesses. And all of a sudden overnight, like the rug was pulled out from underneath them. And over the weekend, I saw comments or people sharing, this has just destroyed my business. I'm applying for this loan, which is going to become a grant. And how do I push my business through this? And this is so difficult and so challenging. And you know what? Yep, you're right. It is. It is. It's super difficult, super challenging. But wasn't it like that when you started your business? Isn't that how your business started, right? You were once a startup. And when you were a startup, you've got to act differently. You've got to do things in a different way. You have to be nimble and you have to be willing to be flexible. And right now, a lot of people are scared and they're not willing to be flexible, or they don't want to go back and do the hard work. Like I'm telling you, it sucks, right? I built my business to a certain level. And all of a sudden, when COVID hit, we started seeing this, right? We started seeing monthly recurring revenue go down. Guess what? It happened to me too. Okay, so what? And am I going to stop running my business because of it? No, you're not. So if you have a question about how to navigate your business through this, let's talk about this. But I want to talk about startup life and help bring you back to what it was like when you were a startup. Because at some point you were a startup. Kat, great comment. She never thought of it that way. I guess it is like being a startup all over again, starting with a few clients and cash flow while building up, except this time it's salvaging and rebuilding. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's salvaging and rebuilding. You have to be able to be nimble at a time when everyone is panicking and in fear. So I want to go back to when I started Ad Zombies. By the way, I always like to have a zombie themed shirt on. Today it's Eat Locals, okay? Because we're all trying to eat locally. So eat locals, little zombie love. When my company started, and for those of you who don't know the background of Ad Zombies, I'm going to go back further than that. I started my career in the broadcast world. I always thought I was going to be the greatest DJ known to man, and I wound up falling in love with the production room and creating ads and storytelling in advertising. That was my thing. Like as a kid, I used to spend my weekends in the bedroom making mixtapes of ads, of commercials that I would create, jingles that I would create. So this was my thing from a very, very early age, okay? So as my career advanced and I went into the broadcast world and I slowly rose up the creative ladder, I never really changed what I did. I always did it a little differently. But something I always did was I always had a side hustle. When I was in the broadcast world, I started a production company outside of my regular job and started servicing clients all over the world with ad creative, radio ads, promos, you name it, the stuff that radio people do. And built a really healthy business with this side hustle. I was always hustling. Then I started a wedding DJ business, a mobile DJ business, and built a massively successful business there. Then I built a massively successful high-end wedding photography business and did shoots all over the place, traveled, did destinations, and was not cheap, was a premium priced business. And then in March of 2017, Ad Zombies, my latest company, started. And this one was started by accident. This was not intentional. And so when Ad Zombies began, and again, if you weren't here at the start, this is what the zombie logo looks like after going through a dishwasher. It's a vinyl sticker my sister-in-law created to one of the cups that someone got me, a super cool cup. But we were testing some things, and don't put vinyl stickers through a dishwasher or you get an abstract. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So March 6, 2017, I'm in a Facebook group. In fact, it was Cat Howell's Facebook group, Facebook Ad Hacks. Props to Cat Howell for being super cool. And I was helping someone who was struggling with ad copy. And this person wrote an ad that wasn't resonating with the people that it was supposed to resonate with. He wrote an ad for breast augmentation and for a plastic surgeon, and the ad wasn't working. And he couldn't figure out why the ad wasn't working. And so I got in, and in the comments section of the Facebook post, I not only shared why it wasn't working, but I rewrote the ad in a comment. And that one thing, that one act of giving is what started Ad Zombies. I literally helped somebody rewrite a Facebook ad for breast augmentation and had 15 comments. Wow, where did you learn to write like that? How did you do that? I wish I could write like that. And I offered to help anyone who needed copywriting help in that moment. Had I known that decision was going to start a 7-figure business, I would have done it a lot sooner. I would have taken action sooner. I should have done it sooner. How many times have you said that to yourself? Oh, I wish I had taken action or done this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, back when, or I had that idea. Damn it. Why didn't I bring it to market when I had that idea? Now somebody else brought it to market, right? We've all done that. Excuse me. So I rewrote this ad, got comments, just said, if you need help, hit me up. And that weekend, between emails and DMs, I had over 100 requests for copywriting help, and I knew there was a need. And so what did I do? I went into a spare bedroom of my home and started helping people and came up with our first plan, which was like $99 a month for 10 ads, I think. By the way, we still have some founding members that are on that initial plan, which I created out of thin air. Literally, I was like, all right, how much can I charge for this? Now, I knew that it was worth more, but I didn't care. I was going to put my toe in the water, figure it out, and navigate and change along the way. That's what you do when you're a startup. You make fucking decisions, you make them fast, and you go. And a lot of people right now are just sitting so soft, so squishy because they've built their business and they're afraid to get back into the trenches and do the work to build it back up. It sucks that your business took a hit. I'm sorry that it sucks. But guess what? You built a business before. You grew it to 1 million, to 5 million, to 15 million, whatever that is. You can do it again. And you haven't lost everything. The only time you lose is when you stop doing. Don't stop. Pivot. Don't panic. Pivot. So I built the business in this spare bedroom of my home. Not this spare bedroom. I'm in the basement right now. And over the course of several weeks, and then months, I struggled. I struggled with being alone. I struggled with depression, which I don't normally struggle with. I struggled with isolation, which a lot of us are struggling with right now. And if you're feeling isolated right now, trust me, I get it. We all do. We're not in that normal social environment. And I'm an extrovert. I'm a hugger. I'm super social. I need that interaction and I thrive on it. And we go out and we start our businesses, right? And so I started this business and I know I lost my train of thought. Shit happens. Okay. This isn't perfect. It's live and it's okay to be imperfect. We're all imperfect. And for those of you who think you need to be perfect on your live stuff or your content, you don't. You just need to create it. Version 1 is better than a version none. So I'm okay with making mistakes and losing my train of thought. That shit happens. I've got 5 kids. Okay. So I'm in this spare bedroom. I'm dealing with growth. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate being isolated alone in this office. We were struggling to create systems and processes. By the way, that was my biggest challenge. I am a clouds person. I'm a creative. I'm an idea person. I am not an implementer. And so I struggled and I created like this terrible color coding system in Apple Mail so that when somebody would purchase something like an ad copy and they would make the purchase, that was coded green. Then when someone would submit a creative brief, it was coded a different color. And then when someone, when the payment confirmation from the processor, it was coded a different. So I had to see all 3 colors. Now that was easy when it was 1, 2, or 3 orders in the beginning, right? But then the orders started to pile up and we started to get volume. And when that happens, it becomes a mess, right? But when you're in a startup mentality, you don't care about that. You don't sit there and go, woe is me, this sucks. How am I going to ever overcome this? No, you figure it out and you overcome it and you do what you need to do to get your business to where you want it to go. So what has changed with COVID that all of a sudden people are going, woe is me. How am I going to do this? I don't understand how to navigate this. There's nothing to understand. You simply have to go back into startup mode. You have to rewire your brain. You have to think about what can I do right now to get my business back on track. And that may mean you have to get your hands dirty. That may mean you have to become a startup again. Like I'm going to tell you right now, there are things that my business partner and I have been talking about, services, and should we add this and should we do that? And we had a conversation last week about doing something. And he said to me, but that's not real scalable. And he was right. It's not. But I don't mind getting dirty. I don't mind doing the grunt work. There isn't a job in my company as a CEO, as a founder, that I am not willing to do or capable of doing. Let me repeat that. There is not a job in my company as a founder or CEO that I am unwilling to do or incapable of doing. There's one job that I don't want to do, and that is the bookkeeping, because that's my least favorite job to do. But if I had to, I could. Okay, if I had to get dirty, if I had to do it, I could. So do not for a moment panic, pivot, and think about how you can get your brain back into startup mode. How do you get yourself back to where you were hustling? And instead of fearing what's going on, yes, I'm playing with all these tools. Instead of fearing what's going on right now, instead of cowering, instead of saying, woe is me, how do you turn on the afterburners of what built your business, right? What's going to fuel you so that you can get back to where you once were? And I think that is the key thing. So I'm going to do this every morning. I'm going to be here. I'm going to come with a different topic. I'm going to come with different thoughts. But every day I'm going to be here and I want to simply bring value to my community. So if at any point you have a question, you want to join me live and ask me a question, I am so willing to do that. In fact, here's what I'm going to do right now. If you want to join me, you have a question about how to navigate something, I'm going to give you a link. You can jump in. I will allow you access to ask me questions live right here on the cast. So all you got to do is click that link. I'll give you permission, and boom, we'll be up and running together so that you can ask your question live. Okay. But as a business owner, you have to be willing. As a manager, you have to be willing. As a leader, you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and get dirty again. And you have to get dirty like when the business first started. Because if you're not willing to do that, if you're unwilling to roll up your sleeves, if you're unwilling to get in the trenches, how on earth are you going to save your business during this really difficult time? And the answer is you can't. Because your business, by the way, is totally doomed to fail if all you think about is failure. Like if your focus is on failing, you're never going to succeed. If your focus is on navigating and pivoting, you have a chance. You have the opportunity. But remember, as long as you say you can't, you won't. As long as you say this is not possible, it isn't. So think about that as you navigate your day today. Think about that as you navigate the next couple of weeks. Think about that as you struggle to bring your business back to where you want it. Because it is possible. And it's just going to take hard work, startup level work. Okay, so this is like an appointment. I'm going to be here every morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. I am going to do my best to bring as much value to you each and every day. And I want to help you navigate this. Do I have all the answers? No, absolutely not. In fact, I have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and a lot of thoughts, but I don't have all the answers. But together, in a conversation, talking about your business, talking about your challenges, guess what? Together we find solutions. We actually help one another because we're all in it together. All right, so I've scheduled an hour for this. I'm not going to kill the time for no reason. If you've got questions, bring them. If you don't, I will catch you tomorrow. We're going to do another one of these. I'm doing them every day. But remember, as you go through your day, we're all in this together. Don't panic. It's time to pivot. Okay? We're all in this together. That's right. Todd says pivot. Exactly. Pivot. And thank you. You know, it's funny. This doesn't show everyone. Keep it up. Thank you. I will keep it up. I appreciate it. And what's the question here? What's your best practices for landing page copy? Well, I'll tell you right now, here's the best practice for landing page copy. Be genuine and don't try to scam people. I see a lot of people right now doing business as usual. And in fact, it's funny. We've had some really interesting conversations internally in my company about our advertising. And then last week I was on a Zoom call with the team at VaynerMedia and Gary's team. And we were talking about how your messaging should resonate today. Your messaging should resonate and feel like you're paying attention to what's going on. And so we had a lot of ads running and we've pulled those back. But our landing pages, that's a great question. Should your landing pages feel different? Depends what you're selling. It depends what your service is or your product is. But your landing pages should acknowledge, should recognize, should feel right for the moment we're going through. Because if they don't, you're going to feel incredibly disconnected from your audience, and your audience is going to feel that. Remember, there's a lot of emotion attached to what's going on right now, positive and negative, right? There are people saying, hey, this is a great reset. We're getting back to where we should be. There are people saying this is killing my business. There are people saying this idiot leader, this people saying he's the Messiah, right? There's a lot of different feelings and emotions tied up around what's going on. So your landing page copy shouldn't just act like it's not existent unless your business completely is fully off base. You should have some messaging that feels current and contemporary and in touch. If you don't feel in touch, your audience will recognize that very quickly. My chair keeps rolling on me. I am so sorry. I feel like I'm moving all over the place, but I have like these really skateboard wheels on my chair, and they roll everywhere. So thanks for the question. I hope I could answer that. If you want to DM me and tell me a little bit more about what your business is, what you do, I'm happy to answer that for you. Always happy to answer that. And I'm trying to figure out also how to navigate somebody getting in on the live stream. So I see someone trying to do it. I think someone's trying to do it. I don't know how to do that yet. I know I put the link out there, but hey, if you have a question you want to ask live, tap that link, and I think I can bring you into this thing live and in person. I'm experimenting with this with StreamYard, see how it works. Man, it's never as good as the first cup. That's all I'm going to say. Never as good as the first cup. So, and I don't know what's on here. Boy, the coffee does dry funky. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up for this morning. This was great, 21 minutes in, and I hope I brought something to you in those first 15 that was valuable. And the last 5 have been just a couple of questions, simple things, comments, but I want to do this every day, and I want to bring value. So drop your questions, drop your thoughts, drop your how can I help you pivot your business stuff attached to the video. I'll bring it into tomorrow's, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to figure out this, how to bring someone in live, because I would love to do that and take your questions live and not just reading them. All right, you guys have an amazing day. Go out there and crush it. Remember, get your asses in startup mode, okay? This is not the end of your business. It's startup 2.0. Have an amazing day.